When you first started, were you welcomed by the schools and your idea? What was the environment like to introduce this idea that you would come in and sort of be the grandparents, as you said, taking over space, working with kids one-on-one? Were they welcoming to you? Was it a difficult transition? How did it all get started?
I think that, it's surprising that yes, they're excited, but when you think about it, so many of the extras have been removed from the public schools in the city. No art, no music, across the board for kids. You'll find, different programs running. But a lot of the fun stuff has been cut. And so, when we're bringing in fun things and can take kids out who need extra attention and spend time with them, it's all good. Everyone wants what's best for the kids, and the teachers do, the principals do, even the parents do. They have some limitations in being able to provide it, certainly, but we all want the same thing. These kids are precious in everyone's eyes, and so when you're bringing in good things, certainly they are, receive us with open arms. Whenever you work with large numbers of people, you're going to have different opinions, and so certainly there have been those that have questioned our intentions and questioned whether this was going to be good. But over time they see that the reason we're there is for these kids, and whatever other feelings they may have had at the beginning, they're soon gone, and we're all working together for that sole purpose. None of these children want to grow up and live on the fringe of society, and if we as adults in our community don't find a way to at least empower them with the code, being reading, so that they can become participating, contributing citizens, then they have no choice. And so you look at the dropout rate in the city of Detroit and many of the cities that follow us just by decimal points, and they're really illiteracy rates. We need to empower our kids with that ability to read. Otherwise, they can't be successful in school. And so although we provide a lot of programs in the school and during the school day that makes them excited about learning, what we're doing daily is getting kids to read and getting them to read at grade level. And when you take a fifth grader who's reading at a second grade level and you get them reading at grade level, the whole world opens up to them. We've had mothers that come in and talk about, I knew he had it in him and he just wasn't able to produce it. Well, certainly not. How can you produce it if you can't read? Mm-hmm. And so we need to come together as people. We're doing that. We need to do it in greater numbers. We have a way to get kids reading at grade level. They all want it. They all embrace it. And we as Detroit could take the lead in urban education and in public schools by turning literacy around and partnering with people to bring in all of these extras that our kids have had to go without. There's no reason for it.
So you mentioned taking a fifth grader from a second grade reading level up to grade level. Is that how you would define a successful experience for a child going through the Beyond Basics program?
That's successful in a way that getting a third grader reading isn't. A fifth grader knows that he's a non-reader or she's a non-reader, and they've developed an aversion to learning. They don't want anyone else to know that they're not a reader, but they know they're not getting something. So when they learn to read, it just opens up a whole new world to them. A third grader, it's just as rewarding because we've empowered them with the skill early. But a third grader doesn't realize the impact of not being able to read. They're not aware that they don't get it yet. And so, it's a different kind of success, but it's all important and it's all necessary. The impact of getting a child to read puts them on the path of being able to contribute and make a way for themselves in our world. And if they don't, the economic impact of that is devastating. It takes much, much more in terms of resources to deal with the after effects of not allowing a child in the system, teaching them to read, than it does getting them to read. And at some point as a society, we have to embrace it from a positive standpoint. Let's put our resources, let's put our people behind getting every child reading. And I don't know how many years it'll take. I think we would see it pretty readily that we'll start saving money on incarceration and things that, deal with people who live on the fringe, and they don't want to be there either.